Hello guys, it is Tuesday. Welcome to another weekly vlog. I'm struggling with my seatbelt because the seat cover covers it. How do I get this? I'm trying to get the seat a bit more upright. Yep, I know the door's open. Shush, right, it's not on that side. Where's the bloody thing that's to get the... Right, that's to push it back. Oh, there it is. Come on. Oh, that's a bit better. There, that's better. Darren likes to lounge. I don't. I like to be nice and upright. So it's Tuesday, guys. Oh god, I bet I need... Oh no, I don't need petrol. Jesus Christ. Darren put petrol in yesterday. That is... I'm shocked and stunned. It's cold. It's been snowing again. Oh, that does feel very upright. I might need to take that back a little bit. Indecisive female thing. What's that? There's so many levers on the side. Right, that's not doing nothing. Right, I'm just gonna... Oh, it's uncomfortable. What is that big lever for there? Is that it? No, it feels too big. The one I was using a minute ago wasn't that big. Oh, that's it. Right, okay. Yeah, that's better. Right. So, that was exciting for you. It's been snowing. It's cold. Thankfully the snow isn't lying just yet. Trying to get details for who to report a dead sheep to. Problem is, well, you'll have seen, I'm sure I filmed it last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week. This is Tuesday. A sheep died in the field outside our house. And we thought it was just a question that the farmer hadn't seen it, and Darren says, well, he's been in and had the sheep out and in several times. They count the sheep. Well, I don't know if that's true. They said, and the reason he knew is because he spotted it from the road when he was walking the dogs, so it's really evident. It's not hidden. Just waiting on a guy coming. But it's still there, like 4 or 5 days later. And the problem is the sheep have been in and out. I apologise for that light. And it must be distressing for the sheep. And there's birds pecking at it, and there's like all this wool's come off it now. And I was looking up and it said that they have to remove it with, like, if feasible, within 24 hours because it's land and air pollution from the decomposing thing. So I'm trying to find who I report it to, but I can't find bugger all. You get all this information if you're a farmer, how to dispose of it, and it's called fallen livestock. But I'll look into it and do something because it's just been lay there for 4 or 5 days in a field with sheep in with it. That can't be right, surely. So yeah, today the plan is my mum wants to go to the local garden centre, buy a little pot plant for my granny, her mum's grave. It's Mother's Day this Sunday, so she just wants to put something on her mum's grave. Yeah, so that's the plan, and all of the rustling in and out of that car with a wheelchair is not easy. I got my blood pressure results back. Like a twat, I didn't ask what exactly they were, but the receptionist said the doctor's asked me to call to let you know that your blood pressure isn't at a level where you require medication. So obviously it came back lower than it had been in the office, which I was suspecting it would because I do get really nervous. So thankfully that's something. Also, I'm working on my weight right now, hopefully trying to get that in some sort of line. Every so often I put on weight and I get to a stage where I think, no, Lisa. But to lose it just requires so much ridiculous amounts of just never misbehaving with anything. But I know I need to drop some before I go away because it's much more enjoyable on holiday and stuff if you're a bit lighter. Yeah, well, that's not very interesting, is it? I was going to be on Mike's stream he texted to ask me about this Thursday, But this Thursday and Friday, Isaac is off school. Friday he's off for St. Patrick's Day. Thursday is parent-teacher meetings for a different year group, so the rest of the school are off. So we're going to make a day of Thursday. We're going to go up to Belfast. We're going to watch 65 in the cinema, and we're going to have a Chinese buffet. There's me talking about behaving myself. We're going to the Chinese. What can you do? St. Patrick's Day, I've no idea what we're going to do, but it means I won't be on the stream this Thursday because I'm not sure what time we're going to get back at, and I wouldn't want to let someone down. So that's the plan for the week. I was going to tell you something else. What was it? Oh god, yeah, right. You don't most people that watch this will not know this person. If my friend Kelly from Nottingham's watching this, she will know who I'm talking about. I had a best friend for, my god, I'm sure 25 years plus. Was a guy called Raymond, and I'll not go into massive detail, but long story short, we fell out years ago. I'll not go into any detail, but long story short, he let me down in a massively big way years ago. He sent a letter years after that, apologising for what had happened, saying it would never happen again, how ashamed he was of himself. So he met someone else years later. All the same problems started to happen. Basically, when my friend was single, he was the best friend in the world you could have, would do anything for you, was always there, responded to your messages. But when he's in a relationship, not so much the first time, but the second girl he got with, he just would never reply to texts, he would ignore, and this was my best friend, and it got to the stage where it was over a year and we hadn't got together and done anything, and we used to see each other weekly at least, but basically all the old patterns that happened the first time started to happen again, and it hurt me so much the first time that I wasn't willing to allow it to, the way they say, first time more full you, second time more full me. I thought, no, it's just, you're just cutting me off again. You're proving that you only want me in your life when you're single. When something better comes along, you've no time for me. It's not even a case of, I wouldn't have minded if we hadn't seen each other very often, that's fine. But he'd be ignoring messages and stuff. Anyway, long story short, what I was going to tell you was, and this is horrible and you don't wish this on anyone, I found out the weekend just gone that his wife has died. She was younger than me. I know she had an issue with her lungs. I don't know how she died. The death notice said suddenly at hospital. So I don't know if possibly she caught COVID, and with the lung issue, I don't know, so there's no point, speculating. But the worst of it is, and that's bad enough, her funeral was yesterday, Monday the 13th of March. That's Raymond's birthday. He buried his wife on his birthday because they went on to get married. She has a child. It's not with Raymond, it's with a previous partner, and the wee girl must be about I'm going to guess at 8 or 9, that sort of age. And she's just lost her mum. I don't know what's going to happen, whether she'll go to her dad, who I know there was massive issues when I knew them with regards to the dad and visitation, and there was sort of supervision orders, and there was all sorts of issues with the dad. So I don't know what's going to happen to this poor wee girl. It's like, she's just lost her mum at the age of 8 or 9. The person she's living with isn't her dad. And I don't know what her relationship with her dad's like. Now, me and Raymond obviously aren't friends anymore, but I don't have any vitriol there. The first time I was really, really, really angry. I think because I was hurting so much at losing, the person that I'd always been closest to. But this time it's more a case of, that expression, friends are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I sort of had accepted the fact that, we were friends for a certain period of our lives, all through teenage years, all through our 20s, all through my 30s, apart from that one little blip. So I'd sort of accepted that, we were very good friends once upon a time. That wasn't the case anymore. I didn't have any sense of hatred, frustration, yes. But I think because I'd went through it before, and I knew that he'd regretted how he treated me in the past, that, you know, I was able to look past it. But nobody wants to hear news like that, and obviously I can't contact him and say I'm really sorry, because I know he'd tell me to piss off, because I didn't like his wife, I'll be honest. And one of the main reasons me and him did fall out was because of her. You know, I'm not going to talk ill of the dead, but when people pass away, people seem to forget what kind of person they were, and unfortunately for her, that wasn't a very nice person. But because of her behaviour with regards to pretty much all of his friends, he doesn't really have very much of a friend group left to support him through this. And I know for sure that me and another friend of his called Becky, who was his ex-partner, and his new partner, even though they'd been split up for years, they were friends, they were good friends, they were close friends. This new partner came along and said, you can't be friends with her, I don't allow you to be friends with her. Now, if people done that with me, and it has been tried, and tell me I can't be friends with someone, the door's there, mate, you know, that's my friend, you don't like it, I'm sorry. There was nothing untoward going on, there was nothing weird, they were just really good friends. But she forbade him from being friends, so he lost that friendship too. And I know she's worried about him because she's told me, but I know that if either of us were to go and say, I'm really sorry, he would say, piss off, who are you two to be two-faced, you both hated her. And that's not untrue, I'm sorry to say. So I feel it would be really insincere of me to actually say anything. I don't have any contact with him, I don't have his phone, I don't, you know, I'm blocked on Facebook, all that kind of stuff, so I have no form of contact with him. He's moved house, so it's just a bit of a shock, you know, someone that you were, you know, someone that was like, he was like a brother to me, it's the only way I can explain it. We were like brother and sister, and he's same age as Darren, he's 50. She would have been probably in her early 40s, and his wife's died, and I'm just really shocked, and I feel in a bit of a bind, ignoring it, but I know that if I say or do anything, it's going to look incredibly insincere. So yeah, I just thought I'd tell you sort of where my head's at about that. I thought about sending a sympathy card, but again, would that come across as being ridiculously insincere? I have no idea. He'd probably rip it up if I did, because given the fact he's lost his wife and he knows I didn't like her, if I sent a card, he's going to think, just who are you to intrude in my life at this time? So I don't know what to do for the best, folks. I don't know what you think, if you have any suggestions for me. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock this past few days, and the horrible thing is, he has a friend called Brian, who's a similar age to him, who I've known for years as well. And Brian lost his partner about, I don't know, 4 years ago. She died as well. But there's these two guys that have been friends for 20 plus years, and they've both lost their wives within a few years of each other at a young age. It's crap, it's shit, isn't it? It's not very nice. But anyway, I'm just talking because, you know, it's, I don't really have anyone to talk to about it. Darren's very cut and dry about the whole thing. He's like, well, you didn't like her, so what are you bothered about? He treated you like crap, what are you bothered about? I just can't help feeling a bit, I don't know, someone that you were that close to for that long is going through something that terrible and you're doing nothing about it, you know. It's, I don't know. But anyway, I'll stop waffling. I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay guys, I shall switch off. I'll maybe switch on later if we went to the garden centre or the graveyard and if we get a little pot plant. Is that bloody stupid? The stone with a hole in it that you're meant to put flowers in it is too narrow for pot plants, or for like the actual pot. So the only thing I can think that we're going to be able to do is to actually to take the pot in the soil out and put the mud in, you know what I mean? And then every season change the pot plant to something that's alive that season. So if I can't, you see, I'll have my mum with me in the wheelchair. It's going to be very difficult to film anything. If I can, I will. If I can't, then you'll probably see me later on the drive home. Should catch up with you later, guys. I made it to the graveyard. Now, the garden centre didn't have any little flowers, so we've got some shamrock for the time of year. Let's go. Look at that big Mulholland, and it's got the guy's face on it. Or is that Padre Pio? I have no idea. You see where these two things are on the path here in front of you? It's in between them two. Oh, I wonder are they there so you can push people? I don't know. So we managed to get the thick flowers fitted in the pot by manipulating the florist foam, and we put the little shamrocks at the back. There we go. Sorted. Done. So this is, sorry, you've got, the news is on, that's what you're hearing in the background. It's a bit noisy. Still about strikes. So this is where we're at the minute, folks. I'm going to start adding a little bit of colour. We've got a little bit of blue in, but let's have a look at the pattern. Nota, Isaac's eating some sweeties. No, I don't want any. I think we shall go for, what do we do next? Do we go for the light pink or the dark pink? Oh, I'm not sure yet. We'll have a look and make our mind up. So that's all our progress so far. I've got some little shamrocks on the windowsill. Can you see them? Just about to see them. I'll zoom in on them later while I'm next up. There's my daffodils from the supermarket. £1 for a bunch. That's 2 bunches of daffodils. I'm just going to watch a bit of news, and then I'm going to play a little bit more of my
dog shelter again.
Dog shelter, yeah, animal shelter, dogs and cats. So, yes, that's what's happening at the moment, folks. Okay, guys, it is. Oh, always forget to. We're watching Kermit's Ghost. What have you got to say about that? Yes. No, you don't bark at Alan. Thank you very much. Nope. So, this is where we're at, guys. It's not very good light, is it? It's still looking a bit of a mess. Yes, we're watching a bit of Kermit's Ghost. And Dobby's having a bit of a bark. And Molly is doing Princess and the Pea on top of multiple beds over there. Just a typical Wednesday. Hello, it is, what day is it? It's Thursday. Isaac is off school today because they're doing parent-teacher meetings for another year group. He's off tomorrow because it's St. Patrick's Day. Something schools have here that I suppose they don't have anywhere else, but we lose days. I mean, I think English schools get 2 weeks for Easter and the kids here only get a week, but then we get longer at summer holidays as well, so it evens itself out over the year. So no plans really for tomorrow. But the thing is, I've maybe said this before, we don't have any like really stuff that goes on for St. Patrick's Day because it's frowned upon in Northern Ireland. It's actually frowned upon amongst certain people in Northern Ireland to say Northern Ireland. You should say Ulster, because they don't like the fact that the word Ireland is in where you live. So the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party, everybody should know who they are. They're the reason Conservatives got into power. Who
block public celebrations of St. Patrick's Day.
That's where I was going. They don't agree with any celebration of Irishness. So, I mean, if you go to America, I'd love to be in America on St. Patrick's Day because it's proper celebrations. Obviously brought about by how many people left Ireland to go to America during the famine era, and they're all obviously of Irish descent, so there's big communities of Irish people in America, and they have massive celebrations on St. Patrick's Day. But here, we're not allowed to in most places, because the DUP, basically they don't like it. They don't like anything Irish. You can't, like as I said to Darren, I think it was really ironic that the only place I could ever wear anything remotely Irish was England. Couldn't wear it here. I mean, I remember coming out of the airport, coming home to visit one time, and my dad, I was wearing an Ireland shirt, and my dad says, Jesus, you got that on you for? You need to, cover it up, basically. But you wouldn't think twice about it wearing it in England. Nobody bats an eyelid, but you wear, it's stupid. You wear an Irish top in certain towns and cities in Northern Ireland and you could get a beating for it. And unfortunately, the town that I happen to come from is one of those towns. Luckily, we live in the country, which is a village, which is fine. So I could walk about the village absolutely fine. But if you attempted to walk about our village in like Celtic or a Rangers top, that wouldn't go down very well either. So it's that whole divisions thing. So I'm just telling you that because St. Patrick's Day, we've nowhere to go and nothing to do because we're not allowed to celebrate it unless we're willing to drive to Derry, which I don't. You're not allowed to call it Derry. You have to call it Londonderry because calling it Derry is too Irish. Honestly, it just gets worse. So yeah, nothing to do, nowhere to go, can't celebrate it. The only thing people do here to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and there's absolutely naff all chance I'm doing that, is climbing Slimish, which is a mountain. Isaac's already climbed it. I've never climbed it. It's like a traditional thing. It's supposed to be the mountain that St. Patrick tended his sheep on. It's quite famous if you know all biblical history. The DUP, yes, I forgot about that. Presently, in this time of austerity, when the DUP haven't been at their work in Stormont for months, a year, basically because Sinn Féin, which is the nationalist party in Northern Ireland, they won first seat in Northern Ireland. It was basically there has to be power sharing so that the loyalists or the nationalists don't get full say. They have to be two people together. One's first seat, one's second seat. And Sinn Féin have always been second seat, and DUP have always been first seat. But last elections, Sinn Féin actually won first seat. Now the DUP said prior to the election, if Sinn Féin gets first seat, we will not go into government. We won't do it. We won't play second fiddle to Sinn Féin. That's what happened, and now they're using the backstop protocol as an excuse as to why they won't go to work. So basically, in Northern Ireland, tons of stuff that needs to happen, tons of budget that needs to be used, can't happen because the DUP will not sit with Sinn Féin. Anyway, right now, the DUP are the same ones that veto anything remotely Catholic or Irish or like St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Currently, the DUP is at Washington, attending St. Patrick's Day celebrations. You see, it's a free jolly. It's a free holiday in first class accommodation, first class flights. And that's where they are. They won't go to their work. Personally, they should have been told, well, you're not a working MP, you're not at your work, you're not coming. Go back home.
Shows our little principles.
They're about as close to Tories as you'll get, folks. That's the only way I can explain. They're worse. They're worse than Tories because the Tories are just self-serving scum. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you support the Tories. But the DUP are self-serving scum that are bigots. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't even mean that to get political. I just wanted to say to you, we can't celebrate St. Patrick's Day because we're not allowed, other than climbing a mountain, which I'm sorry, it's not happening. So people like Catholics that live here that want to celebrate it, that's the only real thing they can do is climb Slimish, which loads of people do it every year with their kids. I physically couldn't do it, and even when I physically could do it, I can't say it would be something that I had any great desire to do. Well, the sheep is... Oh, did you notice? Is that sheep lifted yet?
Yeah, I saw it.
Is it gone? Alright, how did he lift it?
He drove in, got out on his mobile phone, walked across the field, grabbed it by her legs to long phone and dragged it back to a trailer, threw it in and drove off.
God. Farming is like that. Colleen Nolan on This Woman is saying the reason she went vegan is when she was you know, I know there's a lot of awful stuff that goes on in abattoirs and all that sort of stuff, but in farming, just some of the ways animals are treated in farming is just abhorrent. They need to crack down on things, they really do. Right, I'm going to stop waffling. Anyway, what we're doing today is we are going to Belfast mainly because it's like Isaac's off for a couple of days. We didn't see him last weekend because he was away, which he enjoyed. If I hadn't told you, he had a good weekend. We can't do anything tomorrow because there's nothing really to do, so I wanted to do something. So we're going to see 65, which I've been wanting to see since I saw the first trailer for it. Looks really good. I've heard from everybody but one person it's not very good. Doesn't matter, we're going to see it. But Isaac really wanted to see this one, so we haven't seen it yet. And we are, of course, going to have a Chinese buffet. Not that I need to be eating a lot of food, but what can you do? So yeah, that's what's happening. I shall, when we come out, it's probably going to be dark. Film starts at 4, so we'll be over about 6. I can't remember if it's dark at 6 o'clock or not, but we'll let you know when we get home, if it's dark, what we thought of 65. I shall catch up with you later. Okay. It's busy. Yeah. At least said the better about that. Wait, you see what Isaac's got. Can't believe these are 79p each. How adorable are they, guys? So it is Friday. It is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day. We are heading first to get petrol, and then we are going to the cinema to see Shazam, the new one. I want to see Champions, but I know Isaac would rather see Shazam, so we're going to see Shazam. Knowing my luck, Champions will be gone after this week. I'll have to wait on download. We're going to get contraband at the shop as well.
This is the contraband.
And Darren's got his contraband bag with him. And I've got all the buttons pressed. So yeah, we'll let you know at some stage what we thought of Shazam. I'm not going to do another Come With Me review because I've done 2 in the last week. So I don't think anybody else needs to know what we thought of Shazam. But I don't know. Most Marvel stuff now is Shazam's DC, is it?
I don't know actually. Wait, is Black Adam?
Oh, I have no idea, Isaac. I thought it was DC, but it seems a bit
Whichever
flippant
one
for
Black
DC.
Adam is, Shazam will be.
Yeah, I knew that much. I don't know, I just don't tend to get
It's
excited
Marvel.
about most Marvel movies nowadays because they just seem to be decreasing levels of...
Just overkill, watered down,
DC.
rush them out.
It's DC.
Yeah, so... I say I'd rather... Oh, flip this Tesco bounce. I'm
Let's go back.
I'd rather see Champions, but I think Isaac will enjoy this one more. This one will be busier because with it being St. Patrick's Day, most schools are off. So I can imagine the first showing of the day of Shazam will be quite popular. So anyway, I shall check in with you guys when we come out. Go on then.
What were the numbers again?
Q 10, 11 and 12. Hello. So we're outside Tesco. Darren's just going to the checkout for me. I wanted to get my mum like a plant instead of flowers for Mother's Day. Because I've got her, it was her anniversary last month, so I just wanted to get her something different from flowers. But I had my eye on these blue orchids, and there were also like smaller, shorter orchids in tall vases, and all of the nice ones are all of the blue orchids are gone, and all of the ones in vases are gone, other than ones that are half dead or look really flimsy. So I've got it, and it's Friday. Mother's Day's not until Sunday, so I've just got calla lily plant. It's like a burgundy colour, it's quite nice. Shazam. It was fun. There was like otherworldly creatures in it. I'm not spoiling anything, there's just like creatures in it which were awesome.
Yeah, one of them kind of looks like a burger.
I absolutely loved them. I just was disappointed with the ending. It went for that whole stereotypical, just a bit of a silly ending. There was a bit of sentimentality in it I could have done without. It was a bit over the top. But the effects, the creatures that were in it, the sort of like relationship between all the kids, all the superheroes was all really good. It was well acted. There's a couple of funny moments in there. I love the way when they have Shazam land, when he's carrying a woman, he lands exactly the same as Christopher Reeve's Superman. It has to be a nod to Christopher Reeve's Superman because it's identical. The way he touches down with his feet and the way he's holding her, it's exactly the same. So that's nice to see. And sometimes when the music starts, do you remember the original Superman had the dun 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 before it kicks into the dun 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 dun? It had that as well.
Superman is a theme tune.
Of course he does.
I didn't.
You would know if you heard it. It's like Star Wars, it's like Rocky, they all have specific theme tunes. Darren's coming with the full basket.
Vecna Penguin.
Because I didn't think to leave him a bag. So yeah, we enjoyed it. I think Darren felt very similarly to me about it. It was just a fun movie, but it wouldn't be something he'd go crazy about. What did you think of it, Isaac?
I thought it's quite good, and like I kind of like the creatures, but like my favorite
It was open.
thing about the movie is basically the action scenes and the creatures. So yeah.
Can you? That needs to go on the floor at the back. Can you shout to Dad? It needs to go on the floor. Can you?
Put these in? Or they're going to fall about?
Or can you not put it in the boot? Put it in the footwell of that seat.
Yeah, but they're still little pots, so they're going to tumble about the place.
Yeah, but just don't put them in. You've opened the boot. How many times I need to explain this? What were you saying, Isaac?
Like the CGI and the fight scenes were good, and there's this, I'm not gonna say what it was, but there's one creature in particular that I really liked.
Yeah, they were all, the creatures were awesome. There was one of them in particular that, actually, I don't think, this isn't on my main channel, this is just on my vlogging channel. If you're a fan of Ray Harryhausen, there's one creature that's completely stolen from his stuff, and you'll know it when you see it. So it's not really a spoiler, but you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun movie. I still want to see Champions, which is still on, but I don't know when we'll get a chance. We've been to the cinema 3 times this week.
One of the creatures.
Oh, twice.
That looked like a bowl of lasagna.
We've been to the cinema twice this week, and me and Darren went twice last Saturday. So that's 4 times really in a week. So we're probably all cinemaed out. I don't know how many loaves of bread that woman needs. Jesus Christ, she must have about 8 loaves of bread there. Maybe she's going to feed the 5,000. Right, I'll stop this. We'll get home and get some dinner. I shall catch you guys probably tomorrow. Oh, Saturday evening. Still popping. Maybe not finished yet. I bought this from the shop. 4 for £1. I bought 2 sweet and 2. Right, so I've got, I know, put the light on. I don't know how done that is. It comes like this. You put it in for like 2 minutes. See what happens. There we go. Doesn't quite taste as good as it looks, unfortunately. Very dry. Tasteless. Oh well. It is Sunday. Isaac's watching The Big Bang, that's what you can hear in the background. I finished my embroidery last night. There it is. I'll show you my Mother's Day cards from Isaac, from Dobby and Molly, and from Dan. Show you his drawing drawer.
Show them Molly and Dobby's. Molly and Dobby's is so good. I spent so long writing that. So long.
That was you did that, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Because I watched them write that.
I've got some daffodils that are daffodils.
Doug.
I should have shown you this before I put everything away, shouldn't I? I've got some chocolate. Well, it'd been good if we'd done the dishes for Mother's Day. That would have been nice. I've got some chocolate. I'll eat that later. And I've got all of these things, which is like a grow set to grow your own flowers. So I'll have a read of that later. I don't know what month you're supposed to do this in. I'll have a read of it later. So, it's Mother's Day. I'm going into my mum's, obviously. There's Isaac. Have to get myself something to eat. I got my mum got a plant this time instead of flowers, and a nice little bag, and I got her some vanilla fudge, and she's always losing her mirror, so it's a mirror and tweezers. Her name's Kathleen, hence the K, and a little thingy. So yes, that's what's happening at the moment. I'm going to get something to eat, and then we're probably going to go. And Isaac's got one of my walking sticks.
It's a gun.
You gone mad? Dobby's gone mad. She's having a mad half hour. She's stopped now. I'm watching the Cinema Squad's reaction to the Oscars.
Can keep on going, Dobby?
She was going crazy then.
Yeah, she was basically high.
Oh.
Oh. I don't want to make her start again.
Don't make her start, Isaac. She might hurt herself.
Push the medium that is hairstyling and makeup forward with some real innovative methods of how they got that prosthetic over for the razor and whatnot.
Jesus Christ.
Pushed it over. Because if you look at
Isaac, be careful, she don't hurt herself.
Yeah, no, I made her.
What are you barking at?
But what the whale was able to do, people say, is changing the game.
It adds things in, so you should switch out for yours.
Why would you not like his?
No, because you don't like his.
No, I didn't ask you if I liked it. It is Sunday. We're talking about the USB stick for music in the car. Isaac doesn't want to admit he doesn't like most of
I
them.
do!
Right, leave it in then. It's Mother's Day. We're on the way into Isaac. If you're going to hold it, stop poking with it. I don't want it broken.
That's what she said.
He's holding the plant for my mum. He said he would behave with it. He's not behaving with it. You might hear that thing? Oh, right, yeah, you'd said.
Yeah.
Maybe that's... Remember every time we've been driving out, it's been sticking.
Yeah, something wrong with it.
Right, we need to call. Well, next week we've got Molly's at the Groomers on Tuesday. They'll either have to do like the work in one day, or
Give us a car.
courtesy car.
I'll ring them on Monday or tomorrow morning.
But don't book anything for Tuesday because
I'm not going to.
we need her to have her groomer. She'll miss the slot. And then Isaac's got 2 after schools things on Wednesday and Thursday.
Like I said, it'd be a case of they either get it done within an hour when I come through, because it's not a big job, or they give us a courtesy car.
Yeah. Something wrong with the car, folks. Darren says when he put the handbrake on yesterday, it was on a bit of a slope, and it wasn't holding properly, was it? Or?
No, it was groaning, and if you rocked the car, it moved.
Right, that's definitely. Well, we've been like taking the handbrake off and reversing out of the driveway. You'll have heard, we mentioned it on the vlog. It makes this noise that we thought was because of the cold, like almost like something's gripping and not released. A little doggy. So yeah, something wrong with the old handbrake. So we'll have to get that looked at. One of our reverse lights is out as well, so they can look at that. I mean, how are you meant to know? It's only the fact that I was reversing and Darren was behind the car. But how's your average person meant to know that the reverse lights are out? There should be something on your dashboard that tells you. Alan's got this thing on his car. He knew he had a slow puncture, and the reason he knew... Oh, it's got the thing where it tells you...
Sensors, yeah.
Well, his has got, it tells you... There's a picture of the car, and there's like the pressure of each wheel beside it.
Yeah.
And like say all 3 wheels were like 2.3 or 2.4 and one wheel was 1.8, and he pumped it up and then he checked it again and it was back down again, so we realised he had a slow puncture.
We've got a tyre sensor. I don't know how much display it gives you, but we have got something to give you a warning if there's a problem with the tyre.
So yeah, right, so I'll go because there's nothing really else to tell you. It's Mother's Day, going to my mum's, and that's about it. That popcorn we made last night, we ended up not eating it, it was horrible. Now we know why it was 4 packets for £1. I suppose you have to try these things. The birds will enjoy it, hopefully.
Little disappointed face, yeah.
Well, it wasn't nice. Sit down in an evening and you think, oh, we've got popcorn.
It's popping and pinging away in the poppity ping, wasn't it?
Poppity ping is Welsh for microwave. I think that's brilliant. We started watching The Walking Dead again. We had stopped. We've always watched it, but we stopped when we went to Florida because we were there for 2 weeks, so we sort of missed 2 episodes and we never really got back to it. But I don't know why, just one of them things. So we realised that we stopped halfway through season 10. There only are 11 seasons, so we only had a season and a half really to watch to finish it. Because there's a new, I think there's 2, what they call an offshoot programme. Can't remember. There's a show coming out about Rick Grimes, and there's another one, I can't remember what that's about. But I wanted to get The Walking Dead finished before they come out, so that we know what happened to Rick Grimes. I'm wondering if it will address, if you're watching this you probably know, will it address what happened to Rick Grimes? So we started watching season 10 from the start again, just to refresh ourselves, and I think we're due to start episode 11 tonight, so we should be on to season 14 sort of later on next week.
Season 14.
Sorry, season 11. So yeah, but that's about all to tell you, nothing else. Did I talk to you about the Oscars? I don't think I did. What? You're saying I've started waffling again?
You should call it the section nearly gone.
Brendan Fraser was my winner of the evening. He restored the evening for me. I was not a fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm not saying it's not a good movie, I'm just saying it wasn't for me personally. It wasn't my cup of tea, and I'm entitled to think. Some people think like just because it won the Oscar, like all you naysayers now have to keep quiet and not bring the negativity. It's like, if I don't like the movie, I don't like the movie. I don't have to like it because it won an Oscar. You know, I'm not saying this movie's terrible at all, I'm just saying it wasn't for me, it wasn't my cup of tea. The only 2 awards I was really invested in seeing someone win was actor. I wanted Brendan Fraser, which we got, and I wanted Barry Keoghan to get supporting actor for Banshees, which unfortunately he didn't get. It was Ke-Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once that won. And yeah, it was nice to see, you know, he was over the moon about it and stuff, and he gave a nice speech. But I don't know, the movie just wasn't for me, but he was a deserving winner. The one that was really surprising, and everyone says this that's heard it, Jamie Lee Curtis got Best Supporting Actor for Everything All at Once. And even people that love that movie, even people that it's their favourite movie of the year, have all said she shouldn't have won for that performance. I think people are recognising she won the Oscar for her body of work, because she's never won an Oscar. I don't think she's ever even been nominated. So this is sort of like a nod to her career rather than a individual performance, which is why people are saying Angela Bassett looked so annoyed when she didn't get it, because everyone thought she was going to get it. But yeah, I think Everything Everywhere pretty much scooped everything. The one thing that I did, you know, far and away think they deserved was the editing one, because the editing in that movie is insane. Directing, I knew they were going to get that as well, because it would have been such a difficult movie to direct. But yeah, I was happy Brendan won. At least I got one of the things to go the way I wanted. So what did you think if you watched it? Anybody you wanted to win that didn't? But yeah, that's it now this time for sure. I shall I'll end the vlog here actually. Right, I shall speak to you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Over and out from Kit and Caboodle.